I got this. Ready?
All right.
Oh, by the way, last episode we said it was episode 20, but it was episode 19.
Yeah, I did. I did notice that after the fact.
But like after that point, we can't really change it. But okay. Welcome to the newest, tightest episode.
Tight boy.
It's tight boy. The Invested Podcast. I'm Terry.
I'm Connor.
And we're going to talk about some things.
Let's do it.
It's going to be, we don't really have much of a topic today, but that's fine. I'm excited just to have a conversation with my good friend here. But I do have some news if you want to hear it.
The news. Yeah, let's go.
All right, so first was, did you hear about Tom Holland being on the set of Venom, the Sony Venom movie?
He was on the set?
Yeah, apparently he filmed like a half hour or something like that. I don't know. He might be in a scene. He might have a cameo.
My belly hurts. Like, my belly hurts.
What, are you not okay with this, though? I'm okay with it. If they're going to do it, they should add in... They should have a connect. I was mad that they weren't having it connect.
They didn't ask my permission. They didn't consult me at all. and it feels like they're trying to trick me. Like they're trying to be like, Tom Hardy's gonna be in it. You like Mad Max Fury Road?
I do love Mad Max Fury Road. I was thinking about that movie the other day, and I really want to watch it again.
It's a masterpiece.
It's fantastic. It's so much fun.
We will never. This is a bummer. We will never have another one.
Yeah, because it came out of nowhere.
Yeah,
that was a big part of it.
Also that, but they'll never do a sequel because George Miller is in a dispute with Warner Brothers because they won't pay him.
Oh, that's true.
His bonus.
Yeah.
So
but at least we got
that franchise is dead.
At least we got that movie though.
That's true.
I watched a video recently on YouTube talking about the writing of that, and there was no actual screenplay.
Oh yeah.
It was all done in storyboard images.
Yeah.
Which makes a lot of sense because there's barely any dialogue in the movie. It would all just be describing action, so you might as well just show it. It's like they wrote a comic book for it.
It's really crazy.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool. But anyway, Tom Holland in Venom, I'm okay with it because I was mad that they're not connecting it. So now it seems like they might be.
I just don't know who's directing it or writing it, and I remember when Drew Goddard was attached to all the Sony stuff.
Yeah,
and that was the most like that news was like the 10 Commandments. You know what I mean? It felt like the salvation of the Spider-Man cinematic universe, particularly for Sony, because Drew Goddard is, kind of he's a real genius. I really think that he's.
What has he done?
He did
prove it.
He wrote the script for Cloverfield, so I like to think that his membrane helped craft that story. He wrote some of the best episodes of Buffy. He worked on Lost in the early years.
Classic.
He worked on he was originally the head writer for the first season of Daredevil, and then he had to leave because he was working on the Sinister Six movie.
That never happened.
Yeah. And then he wrote and directed Cabin in the Woods.
Oh, okay.
Which is, I think...
Oh, these are all things I like.
Yeah, exactly. All things you like, and it's like, oh, that guy, right?
Yeah, okay.
He wrote... I don't know how much he's in control of it, because I think that's the guy from Parks and Recreation, Michael Schur, is in charge of The Good Place, but he writes on that show, too. Yeah. And that show is really, really fun. That's a really tightly crafted sitcom.
Okay. Well... If I'm sure, this movie might be okay. I think because...
Can I interrupt real quick?
Yeah, sure.
I was in class today.
Yeah.
And I got mad embarrassed.
What did you do? Did you make a incorrect statement?
No, the class really kind of pushed me in front of the bus, so to speak, in terms of performing, because our teacher wanted us to say the name of the Spear Dane's king, Hrothgar, and he's like, say it with some...
You got that one.
Yeah, he's like, say it with some gusto, and I was like, Hrothgar, like stuff like that, like really getting into it.
Yeah.
And he wanted the whole class to do it, and then he's like, all right, he said, Hrothgar, say it with me, and I was like, Hrothgar, and no one else said that shit. And I was like, oh, you motherfuckers! Like, I'm putting cases on all your asses. That's for Training Day. That's a good. There's a Washington quote. And so then the whole class, and they laughed at me, and I was like, hey, don't laugh at me unless I want that. And I'll tell you when I want that.
Unless I was performing a comedy sketch.
I'll pull a Jeb Bush and be like, please laugh. Remember that meme?
No.
Please. Oh, no, it's not please laugh. It's please clap. Please clap.
Oh. You know what meme I was thinking about recently was, Jesus Christ, it's Jason Bourne. Do you remember that? I was thinking about the Jason Bourne movie because I was on a train thinking about how crazy it would be if someone just started fighting, right? There's like,
oh, yeah.
But like action star fighting.
Oh, my God. Did you see that trailer for that Clint Eastwood movie, Paris?
No, the 13, whatever, 17.
13.
No.
It looks so dumb. I was like my face, I couldn't control the muscles in my face because I didn't understand what was happening. I've always had a problem with like military movies because I always feel like they're the same product of they're like, I'm just a good guy. I'm trying to get home to my family. I'm trying to what's this desert?
I don't know what that movie's about, but Clint Eastwood's been pretty good though recently. He hasn't made any bad. What's a bad movie he's made recently?
I thought Gran Torino was really silly.
I love Gran Torino. I thought it was good.
There's some parts of it that are kind of charming, but it's just weird because it's like I'm like, aren't you Asian also? Because he looks Asian.
He's not though.
He's like, I'm angry with Asian people, and it's like,
all right, I'm trying to. What was I saying? What? Okay.
You made letters to Iwo Jima.
What was I talking about? I was thinking about Jason Bourne, and then I thought about that meme, and I was like, wait, that meme made me... I thought about the meme of Jesus Christ, Jason Bourne before I thought about the movie that it was from, because I never saw it, and I feel like I should see it.
Yeah.
Because it was
just
bad.
For the meme. Yeah, all those movies are bad.
No, the second Jason Bourne movie's good.
The second one?
Supremacy?
Oh, I never watched that one.
Well, then how do you know it's bad? It's good. He gets sniped and he falls and he gets back up. It's great.
Sniped. Isn't that Skyfall?
No, I love that movie as a kid. That was such a fun movie.
I just noticed that La La Land poster.
Yeah, you like it?
Yeah.
I brought it up because it matches the blue in the room.
Oh.
We were redoing this room because my brother moved out, and so like it has to be the guest room.
This is blue.
I'm making it, until the curtains. Anyway, okay, that was only one bit of news. Second thing, Peter Jackson says he wants to direct a World War I documentary.
I saw that, and I was like...
I think that's good, because he goes too far with his other stuff. I think he should do documentaries now.
You don't want him to Lovely Bones this shit?
No more Lovely Bonesing. That weird moving city movie that he... Do you know which one I'm talking about? The City on Wheels?
City on...
What's it called? Gears?
City on Wheels. That sounds like somebody's cousin.
Do you know what movie I'm talking about?
City on... I know.
Oh, okay, I don't feel like looking up. I'll show you later. Don't worry
City
about
on
it.
Wheels.
Gary Oldman wants to star in a Marvel movie. Can I just say, he wants to star in it. I'd be okay if he was in one. I think he should play J. Jonah Jameson.
Oh, that's an interesting choice for J. Jonah.
Even though J.K. Simmons says he will reprise the role again, he'll do it again. But
I want Gary Oldman to do another weird character, like how he used to do in the 90s.
Oh, like Dracula?
Like Dracula, Drexel from True Romance.
That guy from the one with Denzel Washington. I really like that movie. Book of Eli.
Oh, Book of Eli.
Book of Eli is a good movie. He's not crazy in that movie, but he's good.
When he was in Fifth Element, Jean-Baptiste Emmanuel's
weird.
work.
Yeah, you know the whole name. Okay.
I actually really liked him in True Romance as Drexel.
I heard he's incredible in Darkest Hour. I have to see that.
Oh, yeah, he plays Winston Churchill. Yeah. And he's like...
I want to see that movie, not because it's an Oscar contender and because Gary Oldman's awesome and because it's a period piece, which I enjoy, but also because it has to do with Dunkirk, which is my favorite movie of this past year.
That's your favorite movie.
So
I'm going to watch it very soon.
Please. It's amazing.
It's right around the corner.
Yeah, I just put up a poster in my room.
Oh, you did? Oh.
Yeah.
That's Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
Whose brother is Jonathan Nolan, right?
Who is Jonathan Nolan?
Jonathan Nolan.
I could say yes, but I don't know if that's true.
Jonathan Nolan, I believed, helped co-write The Dark Knight and maybe Batman Begins or Dark Knight Rises, I'm not sure. But I know he definitely helped work on The Dark Knight, and I think he wrote Interstellar.
So he's a writer.
Yeah, and he's in charge of Westworld right now with his wife, Lisa Joy.
Which I don't watch. You watch that?
It is, it's really good.
I should watch it.
It's the new Game of Thrones.
I'm in the middle of watching Clone Wars right now.
Clone Wars.
But I'm partially watching it.
Wow.
because I did a thing. Are you looking at my hair?
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah?
Yeah, I like that style.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I'm doing a thing that I've done for different animes is where you just type in so-and-so filler list and you see the episodes that don't matter to the canon at all. And literally, there's so much filler in the show, which I figured there would be because it's a kid's show. Mm. And it's probably like, out of seasons of like 15 to 20 episodes, it's probably like 6 episodes per season.
Clone Wars?
Yeah, Star Wars Clone Wars, the animated series.
There's filler episodes to Clone Wars? Oh, like the CG one.
Yeah, the CG one.
Okay, not the Genndy Tartakovsky.
No, not that one. I'm watching the CG one because it's technically canon. And so I feel like there are things I should know about. It's not that interesting. It's very childish. And the whole time I watch it, I think, man, I wish this was better animation.
That's true. Do you wish it was a better story? Would the animation matter if the story was more compelling, do you think?
No.
Really? Oh, yeah. No,
I don't think it would. If it was compelling enough, I think it should be. I think...
I was...
Yeah, you thought I said the other way around. You answered the question for me in your own head.
Because I was like, I know what I would say.
I'm sitting there watching it, and I wish it was anime. Because anime art style, you know it's anime art style, so you're like, wow, that looks really good. This way, the way they do it, this weird like CGI, is you're looking for... It's like Jimmy Neutron. You're looking for his head to go through a wall. Because you know it's all done by computer.
Something's going to go wrong.
Do you know what I mean? Instead of hand animation.
It's Uncanny Valley.
Yeah, it's so odd. Everybody's floating. The way they run. Anakin's not wearing a dress anymore. He wears a dress in like the movie version of it and like the beginning of it. He's finally wearing like Jedi robes. But like, I don't like the actor that they play him. It's weird because the voice actor for Anakin is better at conveying emotion than what's his name is in the movies. But it feels wrong because it doesn't feel like the same character. So they should have picked someone who talks like this because he doesn't. It's weird. Anyway, why are we talking about this?
Oh, you're talking about filler.
Oh yeah. So anyway, I'm watching the Clone Wars, skipping all the stuff that doesn't matter to the story.
Chris Nolan.
Yeah, Gary Oldman. Okay. Detective Pikachu live action movie. You've heard about that?
I have.
Has just cast Ken Watanabe.
Oh my god, do you remember when I would do my Ken Watanabe impression?
Let them fight.
Inception, is it possible? Is it? I loved him.
I love Ken Watanabe.
Yeah, he's great.
I can't understand him a lot of the times, but like that's fine.
I think he's a kind of an underrated actor, definitely.
I think he's the next Jackie Chan without all the karate. Like he'll just be like the wise old Asian guy in movies.
Well, yeah, he has so much charisma and he's a real talent. How old is he? 15?
Yeah, something like that.
He's
like a late 15.
He's a late 15.
Almost 16. I have here that this. I don't know why I wrote this down at one point. Justice League Blu-ray art makes the team's costumes more colorful.
Oh, I have a thing I want you to try.
Yeah.
So that reminds me. I want you... Okay, try... So, I want you to play a character for me right now. I want you to play a DC fan in their own head trying to justify why, like, Zack Snyder DC movies are good. Like Suicide Squad, Batman vs.
Oh, well, see,
in your head, getting the character.
That's difficult for me because I don't know. I can't think of a reason. But
that is perfect. Because there's no reason. That's what you want. You want a DC fan who's like, well, I watched those movies and they're really good.
Well, all I hear is the action scenes are like the best I've ever. Like he knows how to direct an action scene.
It's like you feel him punch you and you're like, oh, I'm gonna shit.
He does that weird thing where like in the middle of an action scene, he'll do that weird like camera zoom.
He was right.
Did you notice that? Which is weird because I can't stand that when that happens in movies. Where like in the middle of an action scene, the camera will be like on something and then do a quick zoom in. And it happened in The Force Awakens. Do you remember that scene when the Millennium Falcon chase and she goes into the destroyer? Oh, and it does that weird camera zoom.
It's like it's a camera. It's like a reality show. It's like a news report.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, this is interesting.
Like, the creatures attacking the city, and they zoom in on the creature destroying a building.
Yeah. And speaking of creatures destroying, there's a new anime version of Godzilla on Netflix I hear is very good, and I should watch it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I haven't seen anything about it. I haven't seen any trailers, but it just happened. I saw it, and I was like, ooh, I should watch that.
That is somewhat intriguing. That tickles my fancy.
It is, yep. Paddington 2 is currently the best reviewed movie ever on Rotten Tomatoes.
Crazy.
This movie is destroying box... Like, it's like All good reviews. Wow. Everything I've seen.
That's in Paddington 2. Who knew?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. It creeps me out. I don't want to watch it because it's weird.
Fuck, man.
Yeah, right.
That's a Netflix. That's a Netflix try.
All right, next thing I got, Connor, is these set photos for Captain Marvel were released.
Okay. She looks like she's in the costume. Huh?
So I don't know why it's green.
Why is the costume green?
Yeah, because it should be this. Someone colored it.
Oh no.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
Oh yeah, that's weird.
Yeah. So the costume is like this. It's like this mint green and black. So I'm thinking maybe they did that. They'll edit it later.
Maybe it's like how Iron Man, the first movie, had that silver suit.
Well, maybe it's that, but I'm thinking it might be a technical thing because, like R2-D2, it didn't work in the original Star Wars. Didn't work with the blue screen. So if you look at the scene when the Death Star run, he's black and white. He's not blue and white.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But in the original, and then they went back and digitally colored it. So maybe she's wearing. I mean, I don't see why this is the problem now.
Elephant go in front of the shot. I didn't know about that shit till like 10 years after that had happened, and I was like, watching
special editions.
Yeah, well, it's the only way you can watch it. Well, now.
Someone released all the originals online. You can find them
like
somewhere.
high quality rips of it.
Ish. I mean, you can only get to high quality, but yeah, you can find them online.
That's crazy.
Back when the Emperor was a woman.
Really?
Yeah, she's played by a woman. He is played by a woman.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's like it's like the costume designer's wife or something, and she's wearing like this gross makeup. You've never seen that?
Yeah, no.
Oh wow, yeah, it's weird.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because I just remember like buying the digital version and then watching it and being like, oh fuck, like this. Because I remember as a kid people being like, oh they're going in and changing things, and I was like, whatever, it doesn't matter, it's stupid. I didn't understand that it would ruin the experience watching, because I remember watching them in VHS and I didn't watch them for a long time, and then I heard about that stuff and I was like, no, it's gonna be fine. And then years later watching it, and a huge, like, it's the Tatooine scene, and a huge, like, it's the stormtroopers being like, we gotta find
and that
Jedi.
CGI like mammoth walks in front of the screen. Like he takes up the screen for like a minute.
It's horrifying. I was like, I can't watch this movie anymore.
Yeah.
This is awful.
And it doesn't even make sense because there's no depth of field. Like there's no like it's like just wrong.
Just put it on top of the thing. He's not even in there.
Yeah, he's not standing on the ground that they're on. Like it makes no sense. Anyway, back to Brie Larson in her Captain Marvel suit. I think the suit looks great. It just needs to be colored correctly.
Yeah. Part of me is like, I don't fully know what this character is. Because I've read some Captain Marvel comics, and so the estimation I got is she's kind of she's a military personality, but like very kind of boiling it down.
Yeah.
You know, she's like other planets have their, gladiator type species. She is almost the military equivalent for the Earth in a lot of ways.
Well, she is there's footage of her military bases, the actors.
Yeah. That's totally her.
I'm excited about
her
this
thing.
Yeah, I really like Brie Larson. I like Captain Marvel because I used to play some old Marvel video games, and she was a really cool character in some like Ultimate Alliance things like that.
Right. Yeah.
I don't really know. Yeah, I don't know her backstory, but I know she shoots lasers out of her hands and she can fly.
Carol. There's this really great moment in I think it's Volume 3 of Jessica Jones, which is the Jessica Jones comics by Brian Michael Bendis, like the original stuff, like that started everything, are so well done. Yeah. I mean, and I love that show. I think that's one of the stronger of the Netflix shows, but the comics are just like, wow. Talk about totally streamlined, awesome noir. The mysteries are like really intriguing. I mean, I think the problem with the show is they can't delve deep into the Marvel mythos the way the comics can, so that kind of hamstrings them a little bit.
Yeah.
But there's this great moment where Jessica, she got beat up by Spider-Woman, and they're both trying to look for Spider-Woman's friend, and they're both in Jessica's office, and she's like holding a thing to her face, and she's like drinking whiskey and like on the phone, and the Spider-Woman is looking at a picture on the wall from when she was a superhero, and she's standing next to Carol Danvers, and she's like, Captain Marvel or Miss Marvel, And she's like, yeah, I know Carol. And she's like, you know Carol? And it was just this cute little, like, wonderful human moment.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, fuck, I wish I was in the show.
Was there a trailer for season 2?
There was.
Because I didn't watch it.
A bit of it was more of like a tone poem teaser, and everyone was like, this is kind of dumb. This is a dumb teaser.
I'm just going to wait for
the real trailer?
Yeah, I'm just going to wait for it to come out. I'm not going to watch anything.
I finally watched Defenders.
Oh, okay. What did you think?
Ooh, boy. That was... I had trouble getting through
it starts weak, middle's kind of good, and then it gets real weak again at the end.
I was like... my favorite part of the whole deal was the 4th episode when they're in the Chinese restaurant talking. That's my favorite part.
I really liked the episode before that when they fight in that hallway.
Oh, yeah, that was great. Yeah. Run the Jewels is playing.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, this is awesome. Yeah. Everybody's having fun. I laughed. I had a nice little chuckle when you see Daredevil. Like, it's like you're at the... You cut from the Luke Cage fight. Yeah. You see Daredevil. He's going through the stairway. And he, like, jumps over a thing. And it's almost like... I love that idea, and I wish they'd played with it more in this series. They kind of do, of the idea of, like, since Daredevil has no powers, he's always trying to catch up to everybody else.
Yeah.
Like, they're already fighting, and he's like, wait, let me hurry up.
I gotta get there.
They did have one joke in, like, near the finale where it's, like, a shot of Jessica and Luke, and they're at the building, and they're, like, having...
Yeah, he shows up with his...
And he's, like, getting the suit on.
Yeah.
That was really great.
Yeah. I think the best scene in that show, though, is when Luke Cage and Iron Fist fight.
Oh, yeah, that was
because Iron Fist is like kicking him and he's not moving.
Yeah.
It's just like, yes. It's
that was
really good.
Really.
Yeah, it had some good moments. And I think we talked about this, but another good part of that show is the lighting.
Oh, yeah,
The lighting in every scene lets you know what character is going to be in that scene.
Yeah. It was interesting.
And there's one scene where Jessica Jones is fighting that guy upstairs with, what's her name? She's, it's like in that gala or whatever, and the lighting's all blue. But there's also a red light on the side, which makes it kind of purple. Mm-hmm. And it's right... And, like, I was like, Daredevil's going to show up in the scene. And then he does.
And then he does show up.
Yeah.
That's pretty
pretty cool. Some cool stuff. Anyway, that's all I have.
Well, I mean, as far as Defenders goes...
Yeah.
I did have, like... There was a big problems I had.
Yeah.
Where I just noticed that I got upset that they weren't really writing... I mean, I haven't read too many Defenders issues of that comic, but I didn't feel like they were doing any storylines. They were doing punching contests. How many people can we punch?
Yeah, and their powers were all over the place in that show.
Yeah, they were all over the place.
All of a sudden, Luke Cage get knocked out.
And they did the laziest thing, because to me, the magic of television is that it's a televised play, and that just means characters talking. That's the most interesting... That's always going to be the most interesting thing, is the characters talking. Yeah. That's what I came for. That's all you need to do. And whenever two characters would meet, or be like in a situation where it's like, oh, these characters are finally meeting for the first time, like the second they start to talk, it's not, here's my personality. They say the same thing every time. They say, it's a long story. And I was like, no, that's lazy. Stop that.
Let's hear that story. Or don't say it at all.
They didn't do that in Avengers. There was never like long story. It's like they just were like, I don't need a long story to know that this person's an asshole. And like remember when the first time that Thor and Tony and Cap all talked? It was a brief scene.
That movie's great.
Yeah. It was really strong.
There's such good character moments in this movie.
It's like it just kept happening. It was just like, oh, it's a long story, and it's like, no, just condense. Don't even talk about it. Just talk about each other, and I it's so funny when Stick died. Spoilers for Defenders. when Stick
at this
died,
point, it's like
I always say spoilers afterwards, which is not good.
That's not what you're supposed to do. Yeah, that's true.
When he died, I didn't care. I was like, okay, good.
I didn't like him anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's like, hey, what happened to that demon that you talked to in the first season of Daredevil? Remember that when he talked at the end of an episode?
Oh, the really buff shirtless guy.
Yeah, with like scars on his back. He looked like a demon.
Yeah, what was that? Maybe he'll come back for season 3. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, how is the Black Sky is Elektra resurrected? I didn't understand.
Yeah, none of that made sense. But anyway,
I was so upset with Sigourney Weaver's villain.
I thought she was okay.
Well, I was just so intrigued at first because I was like, with all this stuff, how like she had been around for a long time. Like there were 3 amazing scenes that were perfect, where like she's talking to Madame Gao in Central Park feeding the birds, talking about how this was all forest at one point, and I was like, that's intriguing, especially knowing that there's like a dragon in the earth. Like, the idea of a medieval Marvel universe where there was maybe like a dragon's going through the forest.
And like an Iron Fist?
Yeah, like that shit's kind of interesting. And then her talking about knowing like Beethoven, stuff like that.
Right.
That was super interesting. And then all the stuff with Jessica like looking through like the deeds and stuff. I was like,
but none of it was like really opened up.
Relate to anything, yeah. And I was just like, this character has been through so many years of history and has so many stories they can tell about history and so many interesting insights into human behavior over the years. Yeah. And they could imagine like what would this person say to Daredevil? What would this person say to Jessica and Luke and Iron Fist and tell them about their entire history and everyone like them that's come before? Like, how could this person fuck with their heads just by talking to them? And it's like, that's insane. Like, could this person tell them about their family history, like going way back, or about like seeing how the world changed, or how human behavior is all the same, like the ultimate pessimist or some shit like that? Like, it's insane. You have this wealth of awesome stuff to draw on.
They don't have a good enough writer for that.
And it's just like, they just fucking phoning it in, and I'm like, no, bring back Drew Goddard, bring back my boy.
We should move on to my one trailer talk.
Trailer trash.
If you don't mind.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Did you hear about? It's not really a trailer. It was an announcement. So this isn't much of a trailer. It was an announcement type trailer. Black Dynamite 2.
Yeah.
Did you hear about that?
I knew it had happened. No, I didn't.
Yeah, it's like a quick. It literally you hear what's his name? I can't remember the guy's. He talks in rhymes.
Oh, Bullhorn.
Bullhorn. He's like, "We're coming back," and it just says Black Dynamite, and then it shows Black Dynamite with like a cowboy hat on. And I think it's a western. I'm pretty sure.
Black Dynamite.
I'm pretty sure this is going to be a western.
What you want to eat, man?
Because Michael J. White said that he wanted to make a sequel be a western, and then now it's happening apparently, and it's coming out in 2018 supposedly.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm down for it. I
love Black Dynamite. It's such a good movie.
Yeah. I was about to say Black Panther. I love Black Panther.
Black Panther. No, Black Dynamite. If Black Panther's anything like Black Dynamite, I'll be happy.
I'm so happy. I think Black Panther will be good. I'm excited for. I think everything I've seen will be cool. I don't think anything I've seen is too scary.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not worried about it, but I'm not excited.
You're not excited.
Do you know
You're
what
not
I mean?
excited about Gollum and Creed working together?
I'm sure.
Two great actors. Martin Freeman.
So I have to say, I mean, I love Marvel, but they don't deliver on villains very often.
That's true.
And so like it's fine. I'm sure he'll be good, and he'll probably die, and that's
I
it.
think you'd be more excited for Black Panther if you would watched Creed. The director's other movie with the guy.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
What's his name? Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan.
That movie is really great.
I know. I've heard it's good, and
it's on Amazon Prime.
I have that now.
You can watch it for free.
I know.
Yeah, it's
well,
really
not really
good.
free. I'm paying for Amazon.
Oh
Prime.
yeah, that's right.
I've had Amazon Prime for like a year, and I just realized a week ago that I have video to watch. Like I have Amazon Video.
Yeah.
So I'm just now going through and seeing what's on.
Oh
there.
yeah, there's a bunch of stuff. Yeah, it's a
They don't have Drive on there though.
Oh yeah, not anymore. I think they used to.
Yeah, I want to watch Drive. I can just find it, but it's still I want to Drive. Anyway, that's all I got for trailers. So I guess we can just move on now.
Let's do it.
Real talk.
What do you want to talk about?
La La Land.
Do you want to talk about La La Land?
I want to talk about La La Land.
Okay. Did you just recently watch it for the first time, or
no?
You saw it in theaters.
I
feel like you hate that movie.
Oh, that I hate La La Land?
Yeah.
No, I love it.
Oh, okay.
It's perfect.
All right, cool.
It's from the same guy who made
Whiplash, which is incredible movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Whiplash is better, but
yeah. Whiplash is a lot tighter movie.
you know what? That's technically a musical. Whiplash. It's
Is it?
it's in the if you look it up and you look at like its IMDb, it's one of the genres is musical.
That's funny. That's
that weird?
interesting. Yeah.
It's musical, but I don't think it's a musical.
Right, because you think of musical as like structurally, it's
With
motivated
singing,
by character songs.
like La La Land.
Yeah.
Well, kind of. There's only a couple songs.
I feel like
that,
when I was watching La La Land, I felt like there were so many elements that was like right up your alley because like first of all, like
I love the music first.
the music is fantastic. I know you are kind of into. I don't know how much you're into jazz, but I know you're definitely into swing and electro swing.
I like jazz. As long as it's not too modern jazz, like that random like you don't even know what's going on. But the kind of jazz in that movie, I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Like the jazz in Whiplash, perfect.
Yeah. Oh yeah, all that stuff. That was the caravan scene was so.
I love that movie.
That was perfect.
That's a tough movie though. I remember you told me you watched and you said you were like on the edge of your seat the whole time.
Yeah.
And finally, I watched it like a year afterwards, and it was a snowstorm. I was in my dorm, like by myself, because my roommate wasn't there, and I was just in a t-shirt, right, a gray t-shirt, and by the time I got to that last scene, especially the car crash, it was a different shade of gray. I was sweating. I'm not even joking. Sweating through that movie.
It was perfect.
I was like white knuckling, like. And I haven't felt that in movies. There was that movie, and I haven't felt that again until I watched Dunkirk.
Really? Oh,
yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting. Well, it's just like how Damien Chazelle like made this kind of like arbitrary thing.
Yeah.
Not arbitrary, but like it's like a kid who wants to be better at drumming, and he's got a teacher who's a little mean, and then he turns it into like most suspenseful shit ever. It's like
it's like a horror movie.
You think this motherfucker's gonna kill him, and it's like,
terrifying.
Oh my god!
And like it's one of those situations where you watch it and you think like, what would I do in that situation? But you have to come to realize that there's nothing you can do in that situation.
I would do the same thing that he does in the movie.
Yeah.
I would try to do the best I possibly could.
Yeah, like what are you gonna call the police? Like, it's not gonna work. Like it's crazy. It's frustrating. Man. Yeah, it's really good. I think Miles Teller did a really good job, and he actually learned to drum for that movie.
Yeah.
And same with La La Land. Freaking Ryan Gosling learned to play the piano. How do you do that?
The Gosling thing really freaked me out because he had to learn to play piano, and he had to act, of course, and he had to dance,
sing and dance,
and sing. And it's like, that's a lot of stuff. And like
He was great.
Yeah, it's insane.
He's so good.
The thing that I'm curious about is Emma Stone in that movie. She won the Best Actress. She won the Emmy for Best Actress. And I was watching the director's commentary, and Damien talked about how her kind of hidden talent is that she can communicate so much through her eyes. Right?
Yeah, she's got some expressive eyes.
Yeah, and I was watching, and there's like a lot of scenes where they highlighted that, and I was curious because I was like, how much of that is on purpose? How much of that is just the naturalism of the performance? Like, is there a way? Because he talked about the idea that you can tell what the character's thinking just from the eyes alone. And so it's like, is that a consequence of being totally in character, or is there a mechanical way, a technique that allows that to come off? I was curious about that.
It's probably a big thing with having to do like being like a screen actor. There's a difference because as a stage actor, it's all about voice and body movement. Whereas screen, it's right up in your face. You get to act with your face.
Yeah.
Like Tom Hardy. He can wear a mask and still convey, Like in Dunkirk, he wears a mask the whole time.
He's got the Bane mask on.
Yeah, he wears the Bane mask in the plane. No, I'm dead serious though. He's a pilot and he has the mask on. And there's a scene. There's a scene where he has to make a decision and he doesn't say anything. It's just the camera lingers on his eyes only, on his face. But all you see is what he's thinking with his eyes, and you know what he's thinking with his eyes. It's crazy. Wow. I was blown away. Yeah, he's really good in that movie.
That's awesome. Do we know did Chris write that too, or did John help?
Probably both of them.
I brought up John and Chris earlier. So Christopher Nolan talks like this. He's like, well, we worked on the film earlier this year.
He's such a bland guy.
And I thought, well, he's British, right?
Yeah,
he's with a British voice.
Yeah.
And you watch Jonathan in interviews. He's like, so when I was making Westworld,
are you serious?
Yeah, they were totally different voices, and I was like, what? What's happening? Because I was like,
so do you think
I knew somebody who did this in high school, where there were two brothers, and one of them talked normally, and one of them talked with the crazy accent.
Do you think that Christopher Nolan's really British then?
I don't know. Well, I know he went to University College London, and I know his wife is British. So
maybe he just adopted.
And he also made some British ass movies, like The Prestige.
Maybe he just adopted the British accent.
Is The Prestige set in Britain?
I don't know. I never saw it. Is that good?
You've never seen The Prestige?
No, I have to look.
It's one of those movies that's like
Amazon?
Really good. No, it's on Netflix though. I'm pretty sure it's on.
I'm excited to watch things on Amazon. It's really cool. I was watching What We Do in the Shadows, And I paused it on the scene with the werewolves on the hill, and it had a little tidbit. It was like, this is the same hill in the Fellowship of the Ring. I was like, what the like, it says things like that. It tells you what actors are on screen. I was like, this is pretty cool. Feature, yeah. Apparently that's a Blu-ray feature, but I don't watch a lot of Blu-ray, so.
Oh, yeah. You gotta use your PS4.
You're right about that. Anyway, back to La La Land.
Oh, okay. And I was gonna ask about. Did you notice like the film? That film has crazy lighting.
Oh yeah, of course I noticed it. I wrote a paper on it.
I knew it. I knew that. I knew that this was right up your alley. Yep. Like what? I wanted to tell me. Give me the deets. What was your thesis in the paper?
Oh God, I don't remember. Well, I just talked about the use of lighting on screen because we watched within that same week when I watched the movie. Or like a week before, we watched Dreamgirls. Right. Which is huge with lighting. Like it's an okay movie. It's fine, but it's because it takes place on stage. There's like scenes there's like quick snippet scenes dedicated to lighting movements, and like you see like gobos going and the blah 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 blah. It's really cool. So we talked about that in class, and then I wrote a paper on La La Land and how it uses lighting in stuff like that, a lot in the same ways.
My total novice thing about lighting is like I think of it as just like, oh, you activate certain colors and then that sets the mood, right? But that's a part of it. A total oversimplification.
That's a part of it because there's also angles and things like that. So like I told you about this in my lighting class, we had this thing where the professor would give us a word or something, and we had to take 2 minutes to figure out. We had to a model on stage, someone standing on stage, and we had to figure out with what lights we had how to convey that. So there was one where like it was like I think what's that movie with crap. He throws the water fountain through a window.
He throws the water. Oh,
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yeah.
So I got that for one of them. We did this like 5 different times. I got that for one of them. So I wanted to convey kind of like crazy, psychotic. So I used a light coming from the bottom up, and like it makes you kind of look like a crazy person because like all the shadows are underneath your nose, on your eyebrows,
it's like
under your chin.
Like movies from the 20s and the 40s,
and it's just kind of like. And then I had another like a red light coming from the top angle that kind of like made half the face red, but it was only the top. And so it wasn't just the color. It was the angles of the lighting. Yeah. So that's a whole other thing. It's like whether or not you have them really sharp, really, really, really like whatever the words are. But anyway, I wrote a scene about the scene where he's playing piano.
In the end?
In the beginning. When he's playing piano at J.K. Simmons' restaurant. And the lights go out and the spotlight appears. Yeah. And all you see is spotlight and then the candlelight around the whole thing. Yeah. It was very similar to that scene in Drive where he kisses the girl in the elevator and all the lights go out.
Yeah.
I wrote a paper on that as well.
That's awesome.
Kind of. I wrote a response for a film class on that scene.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Because it was just so intriguing because I was like, how I never realized till the second time around how much the lighting affected where the attention went, and the idea that the musical idea, which is like musicals are not reality. Musicals are the heightened version, right? Yeah. People usually the formula is people break into song at the most emotional moment. Or like the biggest kind of crux, right? There's something that pushes them over the edge. Yeah. It's almost like a type of approved craziness because like the world has gone mad. Everybody's saying this is not normal, and the fact that the lighting, that's what they talked about in the director's commentary. They talked about the idea of like playing with the idea of reality, and that's in La La Land. That's a device I noticed they use. What I kind of call the. I mean, not that I named it, but I like the idea of cutting back to reality because you'll have a huge epic song. I remember someone in the crowd. It's this huge number. And it ends with a fireworks spectacle. The camera's like spinning in the pool, and the guy like jumps off the thing. Yeah, they did that like 35 times, which was crazy. Yeah. And it ends on fireworks, and the music's in this giant crescendo, and then it cuts to. No parking, Monday 3 to 5, and Emma's like, "Oh, my car is gone."
See, so what this movie does, which I really like, is that yes, there's that first song, and like someone in the crowd,
Davison,
and things like that, and it's like clearly a musical, but also it's in-world music. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Which I like.
Yeah.
So, like one of my favorite musicals is Once. I don't know if there's a movie of it as well.
I've heard, like, the main song from it. And,
yeah. And so that is like, he's a musician and he's a street musician. So all the music so this is more so in world music where all the songs are like...
There's, like, naturalism, too.
A band playing.
Yeah.
And, like, everybody plays instruments and the guy sings on the street. So it's not like random, let's stand up and sing. You know what I mean? Out of nowhere.
Right.
This movie had half of that, which I enjoyed.
It's kind of like Purple Rain a little bit.
Yeah.
Like how Purple Rain,
right.
like a lot of the numbers in Purple Rain are just him performing.
Yeah, and that's, It's like,
Do you remember this?
Inside Llewyn Davis.
Do you remember this?
This is Connor. No one knows what we're doing. This is fully audio. There's no video here.
That's true. I was doing it's 3 references in one. It's
Batman.
Batman.
The scene with the Joker throwing the money off the thing, moving his arms up and down.
Moving his arms weird.
But you were being Matt Johnson from Nirvana the band, where he imitates the Joker from Batman. It's what Joker do.
It's what Joker do.
Like Joker do.
Close your eyes a bit.
What's the third one?
The third one? Oh, the third one. Well, that's why I mentioned Prince, because there's a Prince song playing during that thing. Yeah,
that's true.
So you hear Prince singing in the background, and it's wonderful. Prince curated that. There's so many Prince songs in that movie. It's crazy. Prince curated that whole soundtrack, and it was like, that's such a weird detail, especially because Prince dresses like the Joker, just like naturally, and like I'm kind of obsessed with that parallel because that's true, super weird and it's awesome.
Prince weirds me out. Anyway, what were we talking? We're talking about La La Land. So okay, yep. Then the Start a Fire, that whole scene, that song.
Oh yeah,
it's fantastic. I love that song.
Yeah.
And that's why that scene confused me, because okay, so you're supposed to be like, it could have been like, wow, this music's not good.
Right.
He's not enjoying this. He doesn't belong there.
Mm-hmm. I think they pointed.
But it was more pointed out that she doesn't belong there.
Yes.
He was fine.
Yeah.
He was doing great.
Because she noticed that this wasn't the jazz that he introduced her to. So she's
like a different person.
Yeah, she sees him. So she's kind of they talked about that in the commentary. They're like, we didn't want to make like a bad song that was like really just like no effort. We wanted to make something that was like was fun.
Because it kind of happened in the rehearsal when he was like, "What are we playing? What is this?"
Yeah.
But then the song they played on stage is nothing like that. It was interesting. It's weird.
It was super more polished.
I was not expecting
she definitely is jealous and you know, she feels that gulf widening between them, and his dream of owning that bar the jazz club, Chicken on a Stick. Right? That's the original name.
Yeah, I think that's what she called it.
And then she's like, no, just call it Seb's.
Yeah. He's like, but Chicken on a Stick.
Chicken on a Stick. And that so that's where that starts in the end. The funny thing is, I tried to I looked through and I was like, because I like to look through, I'm like, where does the conflict start in scenes? Because scenes if you get into a shouting match in a scene, it's like there's somebody who escalated it, right? Mm-hmm. And I noticed it was Ryan mostly. Ryan was the one who's doing a lot of the escalating in that scene. So Emma
Ryan Gosling, what's his character? Sebastian?
Seb, yeah. He would say she would say something that kind of annoyed him, and then he would kind of bust the roof off the situation. Not too bad. Definitely he was provoked in some ways, but I did notice that she wasn't actively attacking him, which is what I think this is kind of almost the tragedy of that. That's actually not the real tragedy of the relationship. That's just one of the things that started the cracks in the web. But the real tragedy of that relationship is the idea that you can't a relationship can't really survive if two people have their own unique dreams, right? Because if you look at the thesis of the film is essentially that you can support somebody else and encourage them to follow their dream, but the dreams will get too large that you'll eventually have to go your own way. Mm-hmm. And the only way that Emma, she finds some stability at the end is, as the film kind of tells us, has somebody who is kind of supporting her dream versus it just being two dreamers trying to support each other.
Do you like the ending of it? Do you think it?
Yeah, I think it's perfect. I think it really twists the knife.
That really makes people angry.
Yeah, people hated that, and I'm like, no, it's perfect.
It's realistic, but I mean,
it's realistic, and that's the point of the movie. It's like the idea of paying homage to this kind of golden era of cinema, of the musical films and the illusion that they create, and especially the ending too.
Yeah.
Because you know that they've gone to these different points in their life, and then when he plays that song, it's kind of like the what if Hollywood ending. It's hey there, Philip. Is this thing still on?
Yeah, we're good.
Well, there's a rat in the studio.
There's a rat in the studio.
But in that ending, you get to see like what if like every moment had been a Hollywood moment, and that sequence is so amazing, and it's just like that. That's the film. That's the kind of magic of that film is you have the reality, and then you have the heightened fantasy version, and they're almost totally consistent with each other in terms of feeling cathartic.
Yeah, you should watch once.
I should watch
the movie. Yeah, it's like the original version of this movie.
Interesting.
Yeah. I have a copy of it if you want to borrow. But I don't know if you'd watch it if I gave it to you.
I feel like it's definitely going on the list.
Yeah. I love it because I think the musical's much better, like the on stage version of it. But it holds a lot of the same elements.
You said it was like Inside Llewyn Davis or similar, or they're kind of
I was talking about the on screen like in world music.
Oh, I see.
Did you ever watch Inside Llewyn Davis?
Yeah. I think we saw it together.
Oh yeah, we did.
Yeah,
we did. Yeah. I love that movie.
Yeah, that's great. So good.
But yeah, that is another example of like the in-world music that I like. That movie's really good with lighting too.
Oh yeah.
Pay attention to lighting more. After taking my lighting class, like in almost all aspects, I'm like I really pay attention to it in film. It's so cool. And sometimes some directors, some just don't use it. And like there's lighting in the movie and there's people working, but like if the director doesn't have a vision of it, then the person who is the lighting whatever's can't really, the lighting designers can only do so much.
Yeah.
Like I was a lighting designer for a show at school, and the director let me really have control. Really implement, because she trusted me to use my vision. And I've worked with directors. I did sound design for a show, and I had all these ideas, but she was like, "No, I want it this way." And I was like, "Okay, that's fine. You're the boss." And so I did whatever.
And then she ruined everything.
And
Rebecca.
No, it was fine. I was able to implement. Sound design's difficult anyway, but like,
God damn you, Rebecca.
But with the lighting, like, that's important. If a lighting designer has an idea and a plan, they have to work well with the director. The director has to need to use it. Yeah.
You can jump.
And that's something that we're going to talk about Star Wars real quick. Lacks.
Ooh.
I think that The Force Awakens did okay. The Last Jedi did better. There's only one scene in Force Awakens which I really like, is when Kylo Ren and Han Solo are standing on the bridge.
Oh yeah, that's a good scene.
And everything is like you see his face.
It's lit by the lightsaber cut.
Yeah, it's half his face is blue, half is red.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a cool effect. Anyway, lighting. This is a big lighting heavy episode.
Oh, speaking of Star Wars.
Yeah, Star Wars.
Star Wars. So I was thinking about freaking the Han Solo movie today. Oh, because
how'd that go?
I've been in a big. It went okay. I've been a big Donald Glover kick lately because I just finished watching. He's an actor. I just finished watching the show he stars in and he made.
Which one's
FX
that?
Atlanta.
Yeah, is that good? What's that about? I don't know what it's about. Is it about Atlanta?
It is about Atlanta.
What's that mean?
He grew up in Atlanta before. I didn't know. There's so much information I did not know about Donald Glover that I now know.
He confuses me.
The biggest, yeah.
He's two different people. I don't know what's going on. He's like three different people, isn't he?
It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know who he is.
It's essentially, short version is he went to NYU, he's from Atlanta. His parents were Jehovah's Witness, so they only let him watch episodes of The Simpsons. So essentially he listened to the episodes of The
Simpsons?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
Is that like a Jehovah's Witness movie show? TV show?
Maybe.
It makes sense.
It's a cartoon, so it's not bad for kids to watch.
But why not like SpongeBob?
Well, I don't think SpongeBob was out then. I assume. He's like 30. He's like 33.
SpongeBob's been up for a while though. Whatever. All right. Anyway, yeah.
But he goes.
He grew up on The Simpsons.
He grew up on The Simpsons, like listening to it and like taking notes on it as growing up. Like it's like in his blood, and he goes to NYU to study dramatic writing. He interns at the same time at UCB, and he's on like improv teams there, and he's doing Derek Comedy the sketch group at the same time. Like they're famous on YouTube.
Yep.
And then all that kind of culminates in him writing for 30 Rock at like age 21 or something, like something stupid crazy like that.
Yeah.
And so he's like writes a bunch of stuff in the show, and he has little cameos that are really cute. Like they do this part where Tracy's giving a speech, and he like outs one of like the gay kids in the graduating class.
I've seen that scene.
And he's like, "Who told?"
Yeah.
it's like it's great. And then his big breakout role was when he was in Community.
Yeah, but what about?
But so all that has led to him, and so he's makes music too.
Yeah, so that's all his acting stuff, but he also has this whole side of music stuff.
Yeah.
And I thought they were two different people for a long time.
Yeah, they're the same person.
When I saw a picture of the Childish Gambino, I was like, that's that guy from that show.
It's Donald Glover.
What the heck?
Yeah, it's just really super talented, super talented guy, and he kind of proves
I don't really
role.
like his music, but
That's true. But you also don't like hip hop.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm saying I give him props for what he does.
It's like if I said like I don't like electronic music, and it's like, look at this Deadmau5 guy over here.
Deadmau5 was like writing for like a bunch of stuff. I'd be like, yeah, I don't like your music, but I respect.
I like your craft.
I respect it.
But I think that he actually, you might like his new album, the last one he released, because it's very much Parliament Funkadelic, Bootsy Collins.
Oh, cool.
Funk.
Okay, I'll check it out.
Yeah, it's you. That stuff would be way up your alley. It's very much inspired by that. Anyways, so he's this total like. It makes sense why he's been so successful, because it's like it's momentum, right? He keeps doing all these projects, doing all these things, and it's almost kind of like a feedback loop.
Yeah.
Where it just creates more different projects, and so he was in The Martian. He's been in a lot of different movies, and he was in Spider-Man. And every time he gets to work with a new director, he like studies them. Even though he's an actor, he's studying them as a director, and so that has helped him since Atlanta came around. The show, he's able to use what he learned.
So, are you worried about his time on Han Solo?
Am I worried? No, I'm excited.
Was there a flash season?
Because before Atlanta, I didn't realize how. I'd always enjoyed Donald Glover, but I didn't realize how unique his voice was and unique his style was. Like, I never had a vested stake in his performance yet. But now I'm very excited to see his Lando, because watching Atlanta is... I honestly can say it's one of the most satisfying television experiences I've ever had.
What is it about?
It's really strange. It's a 30-minute comedy on FX, but it's not really a comedy. It's more of a... It's a comedy, but it's a drama inside, but it's not really a dramedy. It's like when I say Wizard of Oz, that raises your fantasy expectations. It's like, what if Wizard of Oz was like reality, like normal? And the plot is essentially, he plays a character named Ernest, who's like really down on his luck. Like he has a kid with his ex-girlfriend, and they live together, and it's a really rough situation. He works at this job that he hates, and it's the way it's shot is so beautiful but real at the same time. Like, you're watching these amazing pictures, but it's just like people like texting on their phones. Like, it's super surreal. And it's about his cousin becomes not famous but hood famous because he releases a rap single called Paperboy, and it's about the middle ground of like, you're not famous but you're not totally unknown, you're in the middle. And it's about all the frustrating things along the way on that journey. And it's super weird. It's essentially Twin Peaks, but in Atlanta. And it's just so strange, and it's like so funny and so satisfying, and it's just one of the smartest things I've ever watched. And his performance is so like, the way he portrays this kind of really charming and funny yet like down on his luck dude is so honest, and there's just like such a real like, there's nothing fake about it. It's all just this most honest one of the most honest performances I've ever seen.
Is it on Prime?
Is it on Prime? I don't know. I don't think so.
Fine. I can
had
find
to buy all of them on Google
No guarantee
Play.
I'll watch it anytime soon, but I'm always looking for new stuff. I just
It's
take a
very
long
good.
time to start things.
It's very good.
All right, we'll do some opinions from the future.
Yeah!
And we'll close it out.
Let's do it!
Opinions from the future.
I always forget what we talked about.
We talked about...
We talked about Venom.
News. We talked about Venom.
Venom. So 5 years from now, Venom has come out.
Venom has come out. And what?
And
you
we
told
watched
me
it.
something really funny.
I did.
After we watched it.
Yeah, I
I
did.
remember you came out of the theater and
What
you
did I
said...
say?
You were like, man, science is kind of fucking cool.
I did say that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this is a very science-heavy movie.
Yeah, it was like
I don't
The
know how much...
Martian.
It was like I was just going to say that. It was like The Martian with Tom...
With Tom Hanks.
What's his name? No. The actor who played Venom.
Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy. Yeah, what's
The other Tom Ha.
Tom Hiddleston. Tom...
Tom Ha. Tom.
Yeah, okay, Clancy.
Yeah. Isn't it Spider-Man named Tom?
Yeah, what's his name? I'm trying to think.
Tom.
Hello.
Hello, I'm Tom.
I'm Tom Holland.
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland.
Tom Ho. Tom Hay.
There's Tom Hiddleston, Tom Hanks, Tom Holland, and Tom Hardy. All in the same movie
Yeah, it's not
about
named
science.
Tom.
There was no Venom in it. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I think in a lot of the reviews I read, people were like, it's kind of like The Imitation Game, but set in like modern times. But it's not about code breaking; it's about spiders.
Yeah, and like outer space rocks and things like that. Yeah, it was cool that they were all like trying to like compete in like that science fair.
Oh yeah,
The adult science fair
was weird because they did the Robert Downey Jr. thing that they did in Civil War where they like
make everybody
aged them down visually.
Yeah.
And it felt kind of weird, like it because this is the science fair scene, like they're all like they're kind of. It's weird. Their like bodies are shaking.
Yeah, well, the weirdest part for me is that if having Tom Hanks, who's significantly older than Tom Hiddleston and Tom Hardy, age them down to be in the same grade, and then when they're older, they're like clearly.
I can just imagine being on set and when somebody's like, "I got a package for Tom H. Is there a Tom H here?" And they're all like, "Yo!"
They're like, "You son of a bitch!" They are. They're all Tom H's, aren't they?
Yeah, Tom H.
Even Holland, he's like, "Hello,
hello, Governor.
that's mine.
That's mine.
That's mine." I don't know how his accent is. I've only heard him talk like
Would
once.
you like to be a Spider-Man, young man? That's mine.
Awesome. What other movies came out?
Could be Baldad.
Hello. Chip chip.
Is this racist?
It's not racist. English people aren't a race.
You know, Anglo-Saxons. That I learned about that in my English literature class. You Danish-looking motherfuckers.
I can make fun of the English accent because they make fun of ours.
That's true.
They go whack-ad. And you're like,
Whack-ad.
shut up.
Welcome to the United States.
Back in the United States, America. Anything else?
Oh, yes, we did. We talked about
Black Dynamite 2
Black Dynamite 2.
was perfect.
Perfect movie.
Yeah, that's all I got.
I honestly, like, I went in with low expectations, and I came out and I was like, if this movie doesn't get an Oscar nod, I'm gonna know the Oscars.
I think it was really cool the way they made it a Blazing Saddles sequel, without it being officially Blazing Saddles 2.
Yeah, it was like a spiritual successor.
Yeah, it was really awesome. Yeah,
it was, and it ran parallel. The weird thing I think was the choice to cast Matthew McConaughey as
Matthew McConaughey,
the villain, and he's like,
but they made him without he didn't have the accent. Everybody, it was old Western times, but they were like, no, dude, have like a New York accent.
Yeah,
it made no sense. He sounded so uncomfortable.
It sounded a bit like this. All right, bye.
No, you're just doing the Western accent.
I'm trying to do.
You talk like yeah. What? All right. Well, you talk like this. No, it's it's impossible.
Listen, this is Matthew talks like this.
His S isn't very like.
You tell me I can't be in Dunkirk because I'm not British.
I'm gonna talk like this.
I'm supposed to go to space.
Gonna have the answers.
But I'm here in the dirt. And where's my daughter, Merv? Merv. I want to thank myself for this Oscar win.
Needs to be more.
I'm the truth detective.
It's not even good. It's not even good.
I've been workshopping that for years.
All right. Well, we'll keep working on it then. Is there anything else? I think that's about it.
Yeah.
Do you know where people can find our beloved tight podcast?
Yeah, you can find it on the YouTube.
YouTube.
In/vested dash.
In-vested.
Podcast.
Same on Instagram. And on iTunes.
I thought you were about to say my name on Instagram.
Say my name on Instagram.
Say my name.
If anybody happens to be listening on iTunes.
Oh, I have 2 more questions.
Rate it. What?
I want to know what what is happening with Rick and Morty. Like, what... You watched Rick and Morty, right?
Yeah.
Like, what happened?
I don't know. I watched the 3rd season and that was it.
No, but, like, what happened with, like, the meme shit? Like, are people online going crazy about Rick and Morty? Like, are Rick and Morty fans going crazy?
They did, and then I think they've calmed down.
They've stopped?
Yeah.
What was that about? I was, like, missed the loop, and I'm, like... and I'm trying to figure out, like, did the show do this?
I don't know. People just obsess over things real fast, and they give up after a while. Right now, it's Star Wars.
Oh yeah, because everybody's upset with Rian Johnson.
Yeah, and then it will end, and then something else will come up until Han Solo comes out. Whatever, I don't really care.
It's just crazy because it's like, why did they get like? I understand fans getting heated and stuff, but it's like that's a little crazy.
A little crazy. Right? Yeah, people are crazy.
The Rick and Morty shit, I feel like specifically was.
Yeah, that was madness.
That was insane because part of me, I don't know exactly what it is, but I think people said it was. They were talking about how. They are very smart for liking Rick and Morty or something. Or
that's a meme. People like being like, oh, you watch Rick and Morty means you know science things.
Right, but isn't that like the opposite of what the show is about? Because how Rick is actually
the show is really smart in terms of how it like connects the things.
It's just honest.
It's really well written, but it's not scientifically smart. It's just smart. It's witty.
Yeah.
And there's a difference. But anyway, we can go on for that for hours, but we'll do that some other time because we're done now.
Oh, yeah, we gotta go.
Yeah.
We gotta go.
We gotta go.
We gotta get
out. Anyway, thanks.
Bye-bye.